Alright guys, Road Warrior back here. I recently took first in another Taimen competition, total weight here on Fishing Planet. I was going to throw you guys up some marks in the event that you did not have them and you didn't want to look elsewhere on one of my videos on this subject. Nonetheless, you can get both of these guys here by the wall. You cannot get two by the wall, but you can get one. This is probably my favorite spot. Now, you can fish this either direction. This is probably my favorite or most productive spot in regards to getting the unique, in my opinion. My buddy Josh gave me this to me a long time ago. That one overlaps with the one I just mentioned, so you can't get both there. But in the event that you can't get one, you can go from one to the other. Also, another favorite spot of mine is to come down this little river here. Now, you can come and fish this spot from this way as well. Sometimes, for whatever reason, lately, I've been having to fish it from the other angle, but if it's not working that way, come back over here and you'll actually see an upcoming clip. I have to do that very thing. Same kind of a thing here. I like to park here and throw it this one. Sometimes you might have to throw it long ways. Again, you might have to park over here and throw it that way. It just all depends as well. Now here's another little spot I used in the kayak thing that I made the finals in, or in the semifinals. It's always so a good spot for the small. You cannot get the unique here and up at the wall. The trophies don't overlap, but the uniques does. In other words, you can't get the unique there and then the spot I just showed you. Now here, as far as the upcoming run here, several things I want to walk you through is number one, and first and foremost, your lure selection. I'm not saying again, the barometric pressure is up, so topwater lures should work better, or at least that's their best strike zone. If you want to use a spoon in this situation, obviously you want to kind of work it near the top, crankbaits, that sort of thing. In my opinion, however, I'm not saying you couldn't use a shad or something and get them off the bottom. I'm just saying as far as catching the actual fish there, no matter what I did there, that thing was going to fly off. I do go ahead and continue to fish this out, going on to the next cast. Sometimes you might want to rotate. Again, following along with my lure selection here, about several different things, kind of depending on what the peak would be, but just generally speaking, I found this more and more to be the case. These things, if the pressure's up, they're normally at the top. So lure selection's up to you. If you did like the crankbaits, like I said, that sort of thing, then this is why my choice was this. I actually prefer toppers over mice, believe it or not. Even though we're forced in the Siberian con to use mice, I prefer toppers over mice on these things, believe that or not. I just feel like I have less of them fly off. They still will here and there. I just, for whatever reason, I prefer the toppers over the walkers and the mice for these Taimen. Again, personal preference is entirely up to you. Again, another thing here is you notice that I'm reel shorting out. You guys might watch this video in the future and Fishing Planet changes that. Again, don't rip and tear those things around. Currently, if you're looking to max drag, that's just the way it is right now. Now, unfortunately, to keep pace with these guys, that's the only way that I could do this. I prefer that they would go back. I don't know how everybody feels. I've said that before. I don't know if we should necessarily just be able to rip in 115-pound Taimen within 35 or 40 seconds, but that's just the state of the game right now. So to keep up competitively, you're kind of forced to do that very thing for the most part, in my opinion. I did go ahead and get this trophy out of here. Again, this kind of maximizing your time. I have noticed one thing. If you get stuck in between the trophy and the unique on these things, don't hesitate to come back to it later. It's usually there doing that same thing. Also, as I mentioned earlier in this clip, this is the spot I was talking about. Sometimes I have luck fishing this from this angle, but I did throw 3 or 4 casts at it. That very thing happened. This again comes with experience. Sometimes things can change from update to update. So I do come back over here, throw this way. I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it's a difference in peaks. Maybe they spawn heavier from this angle, but nonetheless, if sure enough, here's this guy. Also, just kind of in some upcoming clips here, I'm going to kind of show you again on my topwater lures. I did put a topwater lure guide up if you need help for that sort of thing on my playlist. Look at lure guides. I did cover every lure class in the game to try to help my fellow players out the best that I can. Again, this is just a trophy, I think, here. But I've noticed for sure on Taimen and other things in the game, make sure that you're getting through your count here. This is a total weight comp in 30 minutes. Again, watch closely here. I do, sometimes these things will just come up and just hit it for you. Then sometimes you want to do a little bit of a hesitation. When I see it come up, watch closely. I will hesitate briefly and stop reeling. As soon as I see him come up, stop briefly, then be ready to set the hook. And again, I can't guarantee it's not going to fly off as soon as you go to set the hook, but that will help you sometimes land more fish. I will show you that again coming up here. Again, also just kind of moving on to this spot, same thing I said before. you know, hesitate briefly. I set the hook perfectly. This actually ends up being a blessing. That one flew off. I went ahead and stayed with it. Same cast again, hesitating. I did hesitate again there briefly and then set the hook. That does seem to help some on these. Again, I can't always guarantee that you're going to get a 100% hook rate, so to speak, or hook set rate. Also, again, be careful swinging those things around. Again, you're kind of better off just at the state of the game right now, just kind of hold these things in place. I assure you the majority of the people are doing this max drag thing to stay competitive right now. Until that changes, that is what we're kind of stuck with, in my opinion. Going back here again, watch closely. I am luring this, keeping this lure going at the time currently. And then as soon as I see this thing come up, you'll notice, I think around the 50-some mark, I will stop completely and let the fish itself find this lure. Stopped. Let him grab it, then set the hook. Let the big cow eat. So as this thing is grazing and I'm pulling it in here, you're going to notice that I can also just, by then it's taking a little time to get him in. That's a nice sized Siberian Taimen, which we actually need. Keeping the points going here. I do come down here and get a quick one here from that middle spot I was talking about. Again, remember also, same thing again, boom. Hesitate just briefly, guys, then set the hook. Also noting, again, not to keep repeating myself over and over, but I did note that I skipped this spot. Keep those mental notes, guys, and in these total weight comps. That definitely will help you knowing what your fish count is. So knowing that I can get one unique and one trophy per spot, don't hesitate to come back to a spot, especially as a lake as small as this. If you got a fast boat, even just a little Gary Scott boat on something like this, and these custom things, you can zip around the map fairly quick. That will definitely help you. But as you can see there, I was quite a ways ahead. Now again, I was trying to throw a spoon here at the end and illustrate just kind of you know, what you need to do on a high pressure peak with a spooner, that sort of thing. And just kind of review that there. I did get to all 4 unique and all 4 trophy, which definitely helps your weight count. And GG's to the rest of the guys. We did have a great run in that. Another 20 bait coins and another first place in a sponsored custom competition. Again, now here on a bonus clip, that's that very thing. Notice the high pressure peak here, and I'm using the roach spoon just to kind of illustrate this, even on another predator fish. In the event that you like spoons and that sort of thing, figure out what reel speed you like, as long as it's allowed in the actual comp, whether it's a bait cast or a spinning rod. But I do think that will help you guys if you like the higher peaks. If you like different lures, then if you don't like the top water lures, then you can throw something else. Then again, try to work it towards the top. That will get you on the fish a little quicker. I hope this helps you guys out. And if it does, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys again in the next one.